Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this one we're going to be going over the CRTP course review, my experiences with it, and sort of what I think you'll need to pass. Hopefully it'll be nice and short, don't be too long, because there's not very much to say. I think this course is really well built and well structured, and it's not a bit like the OSCP where some of it is a bit outside the scope and outside the box. You're going to sort of teach yourself, they don't teach it all on the course, whereas this, I think they've hit the nail on the head and they do teach you all you need to pass. Obviously, I could be a bit biased with having previous OSCP and previous experience from other machines as well. That could impact my sort of view, but generally I think they've taught everything that you will need very well. Especially some of my more underdeveloped concepts before going into this stuff I wasn't confident by the end of the exam. Really enjoyed it and just smashed it basically. So yeah, let's get right in. So right off the bat, who is the course for? Active Directory beginners, people who are sort of new to Active Directory exploitation. This course is obviously going to be really good for that, and it is, as it says, it's only sort of a beginner's thing. It's nothing I would say that's too out of reach or anything that's a little bit more in depth. Oh, obviously it is more specific, it's related to Active Directory, so it's not going to teach you the generalised sort of concepts of exploitation such as the OSCP or more sort of pen testing focused certs, but if you're going into a specific Active Directory sort of background, this is definitely where you're going to want to start and build up from here. People want to upskill AD specific skill sets, as I've just said. If AD is not your background, this course is definitely going to help with that, and it's going to teach you the absolute basics and everything you need to start learning. It is very good. It's not, obviously like anything, if you want to understand it, you've got to learn the basics and then build up. And this course does that very well, teaches you the sort of generalised concepts and how the Active Directory network is structured, or how a Active Directory network can be structured, things like that, and how organisations are going to do it. And then it builds up from there and just shows you. There's other types of courses as well, so the CRTP, the CRTE and the CRTM, and each time it just builds up into more complex skill sets, which I'll definitely want to be taking in the future. But again, it all builds up from this course, so it's a very good stepping stone. And OSCP holders, if you've done your OSCP, I don't think there's any real harm in doing this course. And again, the courses are all very well priced. I believe they're around £300 to £400, which is absolutely amazing. Especially if you're looking at people that take, or if you're looking at doing a course like OffSec's course that they have, it's a lot of money saved. And for the skills and for the amount of learning that you are going to get, the things you get from these courses, it is worth the weight in gold. The actual instructor of the course, in case you were unaware, Nikki Mattel, world-renowned expert in sort of Active Directory exploitation, he's created some tools that you've most likely probably used in your OSCP, or if you've done sort of any sort of pen testing, any sort of CTF challenge, you've probably used some of his tool sets before, such as Nishang and things like that. He's just really amazing expert, and thanking him a lot for the course. The course is being taught by very skilled people. So the question always comes up, take before or after the OSCP, and it's absolutely not required for the OSCP, but you're going to learn a lot more AD specific concepts. It's major overkill for the standard OSCP. So what I mean by that essentially is, if you go into the OSCP and you didn't do any of the sort of things that OffSec are trying to teach you, I'm not saying you'd fail, you definitely wouldn't, but again, they teach you in different ways, and if you go to a different environment, such as, let's say you go from Hack the Box to Vuln Lab, you will notice differences. In general, people are just different, so things are going to be different. And that's the case here. If you study your CRTP, then to your OCP exam, you'd be well more than prepared. But again, it's presented in a little bit of a different way in the OffSec exams. So potentially you might not be able to exploit it the way you might think. For instance, in the CRTP, a lot of it is very much PowerShell based. Obviously, with my experience, I'm used to other tools as well. However, if you're coming into the CRTP and just taking the course content for granted, you're probably not going to discover some of the other tools that lie on machines like Highy, because it's just not taught. Whereas on an OSCP, you're probably going to know that, and again, you're not going to know every tool for it, but you're going to know the majority of them, and sort of how to gain access to a machine remotely and what that can be and what tools can be used for it. Potentially, you're not going to learn that from the CRTP, and they do mention some tools and things like that, again, in mentioning, but it's nothing as more broad as what's in the OSCP. A lot of people sort of describe the OSCP as like a mile wide and, I don't know, like 10 inches deep, things like that. In this case, the scope is very much more shortened, and it's very much more specific in the CRTP. But again, it would set you up in good stead for the OSCP, but just make sure to study for the OSCP specific concepts as well. Not all will be relevant to an OSCP, but potentially the new OSCP Plus, if you're thinking about taking that, it's this new sort of time-based offset thing. Personally, I think it's a bit of a money grab, but that's something that they've sort of said they're going to build upon and enhance the Active Directory portion of it. So in that case, I'll probably do an update on this in the future, but based on what I've heard, I believe that the CRTP will put you in very good stead for this new OSCP Plus exam. If you're really unconfident with AD, this course is going to massively benefit you. It's great beginner introduction to AD attacks and AV evasion as well. As I've said, it's only beginner introduction to both those concepts. In general, if you've completed this course, you're going to have a very good understanding of Active Directory. Again, nothing particularly major, but you're going to know what's going on, you're going to know how to work around things. And as well, a little bit into AV evasion, but nothing too complex. What specific skills will you learn? Basic AV/EDR evasion concepts. Again, very much on the latter part of that EDR evasion concepts. You're going to not really do too much with EDR, and on the course, it primarily just uses AMSI and Windows Defender. But EDR is mentioned, and there are some labs available to you if that's something you wish to look at and delve deeper into. Credential harvesting, again, basic attack chain. That is primarily going to be your lateral movement, but it's taught very well in the course, and primarily using Mimikatz and other sort of built tools like built upon Mimikatz and different versions of it for, I don't know, more stealthy approaches, things like that. But it's taught very well, and you're going to learn basic sort of credential harvesting really well. Lateral movement across AD specific environments, so remaining stealthy as well. Again, you're not going to learn some of the more generalised concepts that you might learn, things like, again, OSCP or just in general pen testing, but it's going to teach you how to move in an AD environment, which is something that you're going to need. Ticket attacks such as, I don't know, golden ticket, diamond, silver tickets, things like that, and all sort of where they can be used. And again, this course really solidifies where you're going to use them, how you're going to use them, things like that. It really helped me. Prior to this course, I didn't really touch too many ticket attacks. I've done a few of them, but nothing as in depth as I've done here. And luckily enough, on my exam, I received a few of them, so it was really good solidification for me. Past the hash, never past the hash. A lot of that. Well, in my exam, you pass a ticket potentially. You'll be doing all sorts of things like basically once you've got credentials, what can I do with them, things like that. And again, this is going to teach you in a very more specific Active Directory based way. But again, that's what you need, that's what you've paid for. And then finally, Kerberos specific attacks. So not just things relating to general pen testing, but more focused towards Active Directory, as we've already covered. So my exam experience, a really good exam. It was really fun, and I learned a lot. I completed it in around 15 hours. Also a bit quicker than my OSCP, but still took way too long. And the reason it was taking that long is because there was a bit of a technical issue, not with the exam, but just with a machine. So it wasn't quite working. Restarted it, and then it eventually got it. Again, it wasn't an issue with the exam. It was, I believe, it was just a bit of tunnel vision, and then eventually managed to get on. It was a bit something very basic, but yeah, eventually got it working. But the actual initial attack chain, initially I spent an hour just enumerating everything, and then yeah, everything was very clear to me, and lo and behold, that was what was eventually going to be my attack to enterprise admin. But again, all this was taught in the course material, and it was all very relevant. So the actual exam structure, you're going to receive an exam lab with 5 machines plus a student machine, and of which you're looking for code execution on 5 machines. It doesn't have to be admin rights, you just need code execution. So if you can just get local user rights on any of the machines, it's going to, yeah, that's a pass basically. But with a stellar report, I believe people have reported they've passed on 3 to 5 machines. So if they've got 3 or 4, potentially they've passed, but your report's got to be pretty good. So if you obviously got all the machines like I did, all the people have done, I'm not saying you to sort of do a lesser quality report, but obviously if you only got 3 to 4 machines, you've got to really put some different effort into your report. Your report must be up to par, otherwise you are going to fail. That's something they do take very seriously. So not only are you providing how you've attacked these machines, how you've compromised them, but you're also going to provide mitigations and defences, things like that, which they do discuss in the report as well. This is not just for the red team, it's also be a good course for the blue team as well, because you're going to see it from the red team's perspective. It does go into a little bit of very basic blue team side of things, sort of how you're going to spot some of these attacks, and in general I think it's really good. Some course improvements. So the course content booklet was very well explained. Again, I think some of it could be updated, but they do give you lifetime access, and they do update the course every now and then. I believe they have a change log, and some of it was last updated in October 2024, so they are keeping up to date with things. The videos could definitely do with some improvement. I didn't use them at all really, because it just wasn't my style of learning, but from what I did watch, you probably could do with a new set of videos. So if that is your sort of style of learning, how you learn, it's purely video based, I'd say you would struggle with that side of things, but the actual course content PDF is really fantastic. I would definitely like to have seen more AV related stuff as well. Not necessarily criticism of the course, that's how it's been presented, but just think it would be better to see more AV specific stuff. But in general, really good course. So in closing, there's nothing too specifically different that you've got to take for passing the CRTP exam. If you were to follow the course material and complete the lab time, you would definitely pass the exam 100%. a really well thought out course and very well presented, enough so that I believe 30 days is more than enough. If you were to do it consistently for 30 days lab time, that was after I'd completely made notes and studied the booklet, completely been through it, then I think you will be more than ready for the exam. If you're confident with the things presented in there, you've had enough lab time, even still, if you practice the attacks on the machines as well, so places like Hack the Box, Vuln Lab, places like that, you're going to be more than ready for this exam. And even still, it's not required. The lab they provide is absolutely more than enough. Well, I hope this video is of some benefit to you, and all the best for your exams. Thank you very much.